Right, hello. Today we have the Korg ESX-1, which is one of the Electribe series from Korg. This isn't actually mine, I'm working on this for somebody else, but I do have this one, the Korg ER1, which was probably my first drum machine. It's really grubby. And I always thought this thing here was the predecessor to it. It's actually not. This one here is a rhythm synthesizer, the ER1. And this one is a sampler. It's got a lot of built-in samples on it. Let's find it. Yeah, well, all kinds of stuff. Some kick drums, snares. These are all actual samples. You can load. There's a smart media port here. You can load in other samples to it. So someone approached me to ask if I could bypass the valves on this thing, which is what I've done. Because in the past, yeah, I mean, valves are always thought of as adding warmth and generating a richer sound quality. Most people, if you look on the internet about this subject, the valves in these machines, is that they add a lot of unwanted artifacts. I think that's the problem with them, the unwanted high ends, the hiss, things like that. So what you have when you're playing back on the machine is you have the master volume here, and you also have this tube gain here. When you're playing a pattern, this tube gain, even if it's turned down, will still add artifacts from the valves. Even if it's right down on minimum, the tube gain down on minimum, you will still be hearing distortions and slight changes to the sound. And a lot of people talking about it on the internet, so you're gonna have to take my word for it. But now they've been bypassed. I've bypassed them. I opened it up. It's a fairly simple process. If you know what you're doing, and also if you have the circuit diagrams, that's integral. You can't do it without that. I'm just going to play a few beats from it. What it does now, the master volume still works in exactly the same way. What the tube gain does now is it just applies additional gain to the master volume. Nothing runs through the tubes anymore, but this knob still functions. Because the sound was originally going out to the tubes and back in, that sound is going out of the circuit board and back into the place where the tubes would have been going. So this gain knob is just it's doing the exact same thing as the master volume now, but principally now you have two volume controls. See the gain's gone down there, but there's no distortion, there's no valve distortion. Initially it's very difficult to hear the difference, I think, for the untrained ear, but what you have is you have much smoother sounds. For example, the kick drums on this machine are quite aggressive, some of them, and they really distort when you're playing it through the tube. And like I said, even with the tube gain turned down, you'll still get that sound through. There we go, kick drum like this, there, super hard kick drum. This would have been totally distorted by the valve, which, you know, it adds a character to it, but not necessarily a nice one, and universally agreed, I think, by the internet that it's not favourable. So this has been bypassed. Yeah, and I'm going to play I'll play some demos straight out into the video, so you can hear what it does properly.